Today's video, we're going to talk about how using a picture of your family or just yourself on your landing pages for your PPC campaigns, how that can jack up your conversion rates on your landing pages by double digits. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus percent more than what you have right now without having that on your landing pages. Of course, this would apply to landing pages for any other, organic traffic that you have or whatever else. But I'm going to explain why, and then I'm going to give you some examples of industries where we've tried this out and actually measured the increase you can get with a picture of yourself or a picture of your family on there in order to increase the level of trust that people get when they look at your landing page or review your landing page. And I'll, of course, give you best practices for actually implementing that picture on your landing page. But in terms of things that you can do to get more dollars out of each dollar you're spending on ads, this is about as easy as it gets. And of course, anybody can get, tomorrow, going out with an iPhone even, the pictures don't have to be high quality, and get that on your landing page and get more money from what you're spending your money, your ad money on. And in terms of getting more money into your pocket in terms of all the stuff you can do in your business, it's about the easiest thing you can do. That said, I'll get right into the content here. So this is one thing that I personally had overlooked for a very long time. Clients brought up that they had these photos of their family, and maybe we should put this picture of our family on there. And I'm thinking, I wasn't saying this, but of course I was thinking, that's stupid. That's never, people they don't care about that. They're gonna hire a lawyer. They don't want to see that picture of your family, or in terms of yourself. For a lawyer, yes, they do want to see a picture of yourself. But if you have going further here, you have an air conditioning repair company. They don't want to see a picture of your family or the guy that runs the company. It's irrelevant. Mainly irrelevant. Oh, and it also seems kind of cheesy. So I went on kind of thinking that way for a long time. And I definitely thought that having the typical standard pictures that we're going to put on a local service company's landing page or a national service company's landing page would be the pictures of the people doing the work. So that means if you're running a national service, like let's say you offer a 3D design company offering 3D renderings. With that, I would have a picture of an office of people working, looking like they're working, because you can see what you're getting then. You could, and not only that, when you get to the landing page and you've typed in like 3D, design service company into Google, and they find an ad that says that, and then you click on it, and then you get to the landing page. Your goal is to get people to understand that you offer that service within like 2 seconds, so that they have the littlest chance of leaving and being confused as possible. The more obscure it is to the user right away that you offer the service they came for, the less money you're going to make from that landing page. So to do that the best way you can, you just show people doing the work, because that visually gets across the messages in as efficient manner as possible. For the most part, there are a few alternatives to that, of course. Like for national service companies, sometimes you would have a picture of someone answering the phone, because if it's, basically, at least at the top half of the page, I wouldn't put that at the very top, showing that somebody on the other side, a nice, pleasant, lady is going to be answering your call. But as we're talking about local services, if a picture of somebody physically, like if it's a moving company, showing somebody moving boxes into a moving truck, or if it's an AC repair company showing somebody working and wrenching on an air conditioning unit, we would put a picture of their trucks on there with the logo on the truck. Because one thing you also visualize if you're going to hire an AC repair company is somebody with a truck coming out and parking in your driveway. So that's another thing that you can instantly attach with, that where you'll understand that what I came here for is what this company does, to then therefore get your conversion rates up as high as possible. By the way, the 3 things that everybody wants to know when they get to your landing page, regardless of like what service or company, to keep it simple, what service what you're talking about here, they want to know, can you do what they came for? do you cover their area, or is it, will it work for them in their area, and can they trust you? And usually you do, you basically let them know that you do what what service they need by having a relevant picture of someone doing the work, or a picture of the truck like I was talking about, and the headline says it right away. And then to cover, whether or not you cover their area, you put, in the headline, AC repair in, and then put the city name. And you break that down based upon, if you're in a metro area, you put the actual city name, not just the name of the overall main city. So if you're talking about LA, you don't put in LA, you put in Long Beach, because that works much better. And then as far as they can trust you, you put on there your reviews that you got from different places that review you: Yelp, Google, Facebook, whatever. And that gets your 3 things that I talked about covered. Basically, the best way that we found. There is another way, as far as the photo on the top of the page, though, that gets us the highest conversion rates. Instead of putting the picture of somebody physically, like doing the work, or a picture of the truck with your logo on it to indicate, this is a service company, and basically we are not a fly-by company. We've got real trucks coming out that have our logos. We have, this isn't just one guy in a truck here. We would also put pictures of the equipment as well as an alternative. So if you have a tree service company, a picture of the tree, a crane picking up a tree, and the logos on the equipment showing that we own this equipment. And so you show doing the work, but not just the guys doing the work, the equipment doing the work, in other words. That also generally sometimes will work better than just showing the work being done by the guys itself. But generally you want the guys and the truck then. Or if it's like a company that comes and takes care of flooding, if your basement gets flooded, we would have all the equipment laid out, and would have a crane lift the photographer up in the air and take a photo looking down of all the equipment arranged in a grid format, and then all the staff there, and then a few trucks behind them. So you could see, oh wow, I could just see in this one photo what this company's about. They have lots of equipment, lots of staff, lots of trucks. And going step further there, it will work statistically better to get you a higher conversion rate even beyond that. Doing that by making sure all the people that are out there in the photo are wearing shirt or merchandise that have the logo on it, as well as the trucks have the logo. And the same thing applies to if you're going to do a photo at the top of your landing page that shows people doing the work, which mainly, I'd say 80% usually is the one we're going to use for the highest conversion rates on a local company, service company's landing page. You want the people doing the work also wearing the merchandise with your logo on it, because that'll also increase your conversion rates. But that's just a side note to landing pages and what you normally want to do, at least for the very top of the landing page itself. You don't want to deviate from that. What you're going to do further down the landing page, in order to get the most conversion rates you can for down there, one of the things you'll do is add a picture of your family or yourself, so that the people, or it could in some occasions be done at the top of the page, but usually not, in order to invoke a higher level of trust in your company. So I'm going to talk about the results that we got for some of these other companies doing this, but before we get there, the fact is for a smaller local service business, and for many smaller national companies as well that offer a service, adding the photo of yourself or your family in there actually does increase your conversion rates on your landing page if you do use it a majority of the time. So if you're doing a national service company or a local service company, you should be doing this, okay? And even if your company's bigger, then instead of just having a picture of your family or a picture of yourself, you go the opposite direction with it. You do more so like I was talking about before, where you have all your equipment and all your whole team there, and you do a bird's eye shot looking down on your team so that they can see who they're dealing with in that one photo, and that'll get you a higher conversion rate. But I'm assuming most of you, I know most of you guys aren't running huge companies here that are trying to learn how to do your PPC yourself. So with that, we'll just go with, we'll assume you guys are just running a smaller company here. You want to then basically have either a picture of yourself or a picture of your family, but a lot of times the family is going to do better than the picture of yourself. Why? Because somebody who's willing to put a picture of their whole family on their landing page, is somebody who is least likely to rip them off. Therefore, you're going to get more trust just by using that one photo. People that are a scam company aren't going to put a picture of the family on there unless the family's it's a fake photo, but most people aren't going to be thinking that. So while I don't recommend you take up prime real estate on your landing page with a picture of your family to get this double-digit increase in your conversion rates, one well-placed, about us or about me photo and section on your landing page, halfway down your page or lower, will increase conversion rates by about, double digits. Sometimes it'll be 10%, sometimes it'll be higher, might be over 50%. You'll get varying results based upon how much trust that the niche has. In some niches, nobody trusts anybody. And so, if you're buying SEO services, nobody believes what SEO people say. So in that case, you're going to get more bang for your buck using a picture of yourself and furthermore family on your page than you would if you would use a family photo in that context if you're smaller, because it would be more appropriate than a big firm obviously doing that. But you're going to get more bang for your buck than something like a cleaning service where there's not much at risk. They come clean your house. If it sucks, you fire them. You're at $100. Who cares? And for the most part, they're going to clean sort of okay. So, obviously they could steal your stuff and all that, but for the most part, there's not nearly as much as risk as like an SEO company. First, nobody trusts anybody in the SEO industry, and then two, if you get ripped off, you're losing thousands at the same time. So based upon your niche, you'll get more or a little bit less. But with that said, if you can't beat, here's the key statement out of everything I'm saying today, and you should be picking up here. If you can't beat people in your industry because you're either just starting out or you don't want to be a huge company, you beat the big companies that you can't be or aren't yet or aspire to be by being more transparent and personalized in your approach with them. So what that means is you say, yes, I may not be big, but darn it, actually give a shit about the quality of service we have. And there's a lot of people that are out there in your industry who's tried hiring somebody in your space before, assuming it's not just a one-off service you only do once and then that's it. And, frankly, everybody kind of knows it, that I speak to anyway, anymore, that the bigger companies, they give a shit about, less about the small things. They make a mistake, you call them back, it's hard to get, them to, talk to somebody, and then when you talk to somebody, it's a pain in the ass to get them to fix it. Whereas if there's a problem with the small company, you call up the owner and you talk to them and you get a hold of them right away, and they probably give a shit, more so than the big companies. And you got the owner involved in the process, so there's less mistakes being made. So that appeals overall to a lot of people. So from the context that there's a lot of people out there in your space already, in your niche already, that are ordering your services that know big companies aren't all they are cracked up to be, putting a picture of yourself or your family even on the page is going to capitalize on what you have an edge on. So if that is an edge, which it certainly is an edge in a lot of the cases, like I was saying, you want to capitalize on this and don't try to be like the big companies. I see people making this mistake all the time. They say they think they need to act like the big companies to be the big company. The fact is, the big company, they probably got referrals coming in from a bunch of other joint venture partnerships. Their landing page that you see probably doesn't even convert that well. Not always, but I see a lot of what, the inside of what these big companies are doing with their campaigns and their landing pages. I know how they perform. Just because they're bigger doesn't mean they're making money and the margins aren't even as good. And as a whole, the bigger companies, the shittier the PPC campaign. I will go on record absolutely saying that. And so you don't want to copy them. What you want to do is capitalize on your strengths and seeming like you're so personalized with your service that the owner themselves are going to be looking over your stuff, and that if I have a problem, I can get a hold of the owner, and that's what people like. And half of the market might be just looking for that. And when you're the only one person in your market who shows a picture of yourself or your family on your page, you've basically eliminated all your competition with just that one thing. So why not try it? And of course, it's not a big risk. You can try it. You can always reverse this. It takes you 5 minutes to get a picture together for this. Go ahead and give it a shot. So anyway, this increases conversion rates because of that section of the market who doesn't want a big company because they know how hard it is to get remedy from this company if they fuck up. Some people certainly also, they're still going to want, some company that seems like they're the biggest, because the biggest company, they're going to say, oh, they have the most experience, and therefore, they're not going to mess up because of that. In some industries, that's going to be, obviously it depends on the industry. More people are going to want that. But I want to say as a whole, and if you spread it, all the industries combined, if you combine them all together, half of the people are going to want someone small because of they don't like dealing with big companies, and half of them are going to want big. And since you're small, don't pretend like you're big. You do that, and with all the smaller companies mainly trying to pretend like they're big, you're going to be, half of the market is simply, you're going to be the best choice for half of the market. So anyway, with that said, I'll give you some case studies here to better understand how well this actually can work. The first thing I'll say, I don't have any actual before and after results with this as I do with these other two companies I'm going to mention. But with my PPC firm, PPC management is what we do here at Guaranteed PPC. I'm the owner of the company. We manage clients' Google ads, Facebook ads, and so forth campaigns. I started this PPC agency about 8 years ago now. I've been doing PPC for 15 years. I understood the problems in the industry, which is always why it's good if you're going to start up a business to just get a job in the industry for, even if it's for 6 months to a year. Suck out all the knowledge about all the problems and the ways that, and how the other company does things, and then set up your own business. But I understood the problems in the industry. People hate the bigger companies, even in the PPC space, because the bigger the company, the more likely it is the owner is separated from the work, which means the work quality is going to suffer. So knowing this, I just did exactly what I told you that you should do with your landing pages and your site, which I put, if you go to our site at guaranteedppc.com, you see my face right at the top of the page. And I did that because we were small and I was trying to be small. We're not so small anymore, but I've kept it that way because over the years I recognized, yes, we could do a reface of our website, but a majority of our customers or clients are hiring us because we're not the big company. And it still seems like I've got the hands on the work to some degree, to the point where they're not going to have to get the big company, deal with the big company bullshit, so to say. So whereas I've had the money to upgrade the site, make it look like a big fancy corporate site, I know now, just over the years understanding the market more, that would actually hurt my conversion rates. So, and then, furthermore from there, on other markets, I didn't realize how much of an issue it was there until after a while. And then we started testing, adding personalized photos, family photos to landing pages in other markets, how much it makes a difference in those markets as well. So when I first, though, before I get into the other results here, I'll tell you, when I first started out my firm and I put my photo there at the top of the page, given most of the PPC firms that you see out there, they're going to say like orange PPC or orange tangerine PPC or send it to the top PPC or whatever. All these PPC companies out there got these bullshit names, these goofy names. There's nobody that puts on there John Smith PPC, and it not being just more than John Smith, but like being an agency. In the legal space, they've known forever that people hire the reputation of the firm, and they put the lawyer's name on the firm because, basically that instills trust in the user. They know that you're not going to get screwed over because somebody's putting their own reputation on the line. But in the PPC space, because I believe it's basically because most of these PPC company CEOs know their work quality is bullshit, and they're not going to put their own name on the masthead because of that. So we put, my name out there, and that says a lot about, what kind of quality of work they're going to get, because I'm willing to put it all on the line. It's not like if I get a whole bunch of bad reviews, I could start up a new site and that goes away. I've tarnished my name now. Whereas the, Orange Blast PPC management, when they do that, they could just, do the churn and burn. Oh, bad reviews, we'll start up another site. That's another reason, and people know this. This is another why it works so well to put your own name out there. And of course, it is risky. You got to do good quality work now, and really it's not that risky, because even if you fuck up, you just got to be willing to refund people's money. Not saying that we refund people's money all the time, but in your perspective here, you just got to be able to eat it a few times. If somebody's really pissed off, you got to fix it. But obviously, more than that, you just got to have good quality work. You can't be doing shit quality work and refunding people's money, because you'll just end up going out of business. So you just got to have good quality work, figure out how to get that done, and then if you do have a problem, fix it. You have nothing to worry about putting your name out there in front of the world in terms of doing business in your space. And then get all the benefits of being the one company in your space, like in our industry, that's willing to do it. Now you stand out. If you go look around at all the other PPC agencies out there, nobody else is doing it like I am, putting their name, the owner's name, right in front of, front and center on their website, like I am, and where it's not just basically them and they're running a whole staff. It says a lot about our company. So realistically, whereas and then with that, as to my final point about all this, when I first started out the company and we put my name and stuff out there, when I would get critiques from other people about the website, which you should be doing, when you make a website, you should be getting critique from people about how that website is, so you could get, and respectively, try to ask people if they would buy from you, so you could hear why, because you don't want to hear, just advice from people who aren't going to spend money with you, because it'll be biased. But what I would hear is, why is it so much just about you? Why isn't it about the company? And the reality is, I knew, because other companies, it isn't just about the owner, it's about the company. And if you get fucked over by the company, basically, I don't even know whose throat I'm going to choke. Of course, I'm going to have a problem with them, but they already got 200 reviews, and what's my bad review going to do? Absolutely nothing. I want to know that I'm dealing with one person, and if I slander this person, maybe realistically, I will get attention in that case. It's not like it's me against some big faceless, nameless company. And so my point with all this is if you are going to go this general direction to stand out in your market, other people are going to say, why is it that you're just making it about yourself? And you have to stand strong and just realize that this is what's going to make it different. This is what gets the results. You're going to be different than everybody else. Therefore, you've eliminated all the competition. Instead of just trying to be everything to everybody, you're just really great for the half of the market who doesn't want a big company, like I was saying. So anyway, other people will criticize your position, but I can tell you from our end here, it's worked extremely, extremely well going that general direction for us. So for what it's worth, now you have that information going for you as well here, if when you decide if you're going to do this or not. But in other industries here, I mentioned in the AC repair space, we were doing something like this before, or touched on it a bit. In the AC repair space, the client sent us the picture of the family. And with that, we actually added that and we added on the landing page about 3/4 down the way on the page, an About Us spot on the landing page. And with the picture of the family on it, 41% increase in conversion rates, which is exactly why you want to try this out for your company, okay? Basically speaking, in that space, they're not the biggest company. So in that case, it actually certainly would have helped them more than if they were a big company trying to do this, because it more fits their brand. So it kind of just depends. But even if you're a big brand, I could tell you that in a lot of cases it is going to help you. So normally if I'm going to go the personalized route, it's for a company that isn't the biggest of the space. Then we're just going to pitch on we're the biggest, because we are the biggest. But if you're not the biggest and you're like, not even average in terms of your size, I'm going this opposite approach. I'm going to add the About Us section so we could get results like we did with this AC repair company. I see the same thing going on locally for like like IT service companies, if you're an IT service company, I see people putting a picture of their family on the page. I'm going to trust that company. I'm going to go with that business with that company, or do business with that company. I actually did that for somebody who we needed locally for my parents. That would be the one that I would choose automatically because I know that company can be trusted just from that one photo. And there's so many different markets where this would work in. So if you're not the biggest, the photo of the family or yourself certainly should help you. And to decide if it's going to be the photo of the family or yourself that you're going to use, that all depends. Some of you guys don't want it. Maybe you're comfortable putting a picture of your family on there, but I can tell you from my personal opinion here, or my side, picture of the family is going to have much more weight in terms of the level of trust that you're going to get. But it won't work for every market. Putting a picture of my family on our PPC management or services website, it doesn't really fit. So, didn't go that general direction with it. But in an AC repair space, it does work because now they know they're dealing with a nice family-owned local company versus a national chain who doesn't give a shit about you if problems arise. So, some different things to think about there. Another example of where this has worked great was a personal injury, or not personal injury, PI services company that does private investigation services, does investigations into, does surveillance on for people that are in divorces and, private investigation services. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. But basically, that's mostly what people think of when they're talking about that. And really, it's a bunch of different stuff. One of the things that this company does, and companies in that space sometimes do, is they'll do background checks and they'll do like missed person searches. So like if your brother, you haven't heard from him in a long time, you can't get a hold of him, you can go to a private investigation service company and do a skip trace is what they call it. And they'll find out where they're living now so you can get a hold of them again. And they'll charge so much for that service. And respectively, that's what this company focused on with their PPC itself. And so, this company was a local PI services company, but they were targeting nationally for people who want to do these kind of background searches for missing persons and stuff like that. So with that said, this wasn't a huge company. The guy didn't want to be a huge company. He's one of those guys that have been a huge company, didn't like all the bullshit that was involved with managing a huge staff, and was fine with making his 100 to 200 grand a year salary, and that was it. And so, but with that, obviously it was not enough to target in his local area, targeted nationally to a minimal degree, but we found out right away with that as well, because I recommended it, put a picture of him and capitalize on the fact that he's a small company, and you're going to be dealing with somebody who's going to give you truly a personalized service, and you're going to be dealing with the owner directly itself. Instead of with the other companies, you're dealing with a big nameless, faceless company. The other national players that do this, we got a 16% lift in the conversion rate right away when we added that to the page. Okay, but those two, the background research services company and in the personal injuries or private investigation space, and the AC repair space is two different case studies where we didn't have a picture of the person or the family on there, and then we added it, and then we saw what the results are. I've added this numerous times since then, after figuring out how well this works, and it's always worked certainly better. I haven't went through and every time and measured it as to, ultimately, because ultimately when we have the landing page, when we make a landing page for the client upon onboarding them, we either add it or not add it at that time, since I've learned about this technique working so well. So I don't really have a true apples to apples comparison on how well this works beyond this, but it seems to always work pretty well. But that could just be because the landing page we make is generally pretty good. But from those two examples here, where we isolated out in one case, the family photo in the AC repair company space, and the background research company, where we just had the picture of the owner there and the about us and then about the owner, that giving a 16% increase in conversion rates, we have definitive proof that this can and certainly does give you that advertised doubling in conversion rate that I'm talking about, that you're going to be able to get adding this to your site if you're a smaller company and you capitalize on what your strengths are here. So to say, maybe the family photo gets you a larger lift than the photo by yourself, and that certainly could be the case. I've never had an example where we actually tested the family photo and then the individual photo and split tested it like that. I would love to be able to run that test, but we haven't done it yet. So in your particular case, you may want to split test it or do one or the other based upon, do the family photo, given that actually seems like it works better. I just don't have any actual split testing knowledge where the family photo does work X% better on average than the individual photo. My gut feeling is the family photo is going to certainly work better because you're just going to get that. I mean, just come on, if you think about it, some guy who puts his whole family on there, I'm not worried about him ripping me off versus just putting his photo on there. I've seen websites where people put their photo on it before. It's rare when somebody has the balls to put their whole family photo on there. That in itself is rare. When you see that, it really stands out. So therefore, that's anything that gets attention more so like that, generally speaking, is going to increase your conversion rates that much more. So I would say go with the family photo, but it's totally obviously up to you which one you go with. But you have options if you don't want to go the full family photo. You can just go with the About Me. In the About Me section, you put your photo there, and then you go through all your background. I went to school here. I ran this firm before I started this firm for this many years. Then I started this firm. We've been in business this long. I have these degrees. I have a family of 4. If you don't want to add the family photo, but you want to add that in there, that's what I would do. And just go into it, make it seem like you're trying to be transparent. So you compete against the big people by being transparent and personal with your user. And with that, you make a sale. It goes the same thing applies if you're talking about doing phone sales. If you're generating leads and then you get people on the phone, the smaller companies that are able to actually talk, the owner gets on the phone with the consumer, they blow away, the other people aren't willing to do that and have some employee get on the phone, because it just says so much. If the owner's going to talk to me on the phone, that, first of all, it's not common, or it's rare, we'll say, and the willingness of the owner to get on the phone to talk to me as a customer, I'm extremely, extremely happy about that. So as you're it's the same kind of thing there, as you're going to put all this information about you on the page. Yes, it looks like clearly you're not going to rip me off because you're willing to put all this about yourself out there. But not only that, I know if I call you, I'm probably going to get to talk to that you directly, which people want. They want to talk to the owner. They don't want to talk to some middle manager who don't give a shit about anything, and is probably going to be obviously going to be more frustrated to deal with than the owner himself. So anyway, I'll wrap it up with that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some enough value out of this in order to make some more money with your PPC. If you like this video, you should consider giving it a like and consider subscribing, as we have a lot of other additional content on this channel where we're going to be able to make you more money with your PPC than ever before. I give you the techniques that are working on our clients' campaigns at our firm, as well as the stuff that doesn't work, so you can make more money with your PPC. It's really all the information that you need to be able to take your campaigns to where they're at right now, to millions of dollars a year in sales, given you're using the same stuff we do at our firm to guarantee our clients' results. We also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog, where I personally have written down how I put together campaigns for our clients and landing pages and things like that. It's where you could review that and get some extra but more detailed information on how to set up PPC campaigns that we use to basically guarantee results for our clients, and gets into the details more, whereas on this channel here, we keep things fairly high level, so that might also be of use to you as well. I didn't mention it before, but we also have, if you're curious about landing pages and you're going to do this strategy and just perhaps going to do an overhaul of your landing page, go to our landing page portfolio on our site and see other landing pages that we design in-house, in which basically all that you can see there gets a good conversion rate. But beyond that, If you have any questions about anything I covered here today, leave a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel. As a final note, I want to let you know about a brand new program we have, which is we're offering basically turnkey PPC programs here, in which if we have results in a market like we were talking about before in the AC repair space, and you want to start up an AC repair company, we could give you the exact campaign we used for that company in one market. So you could open up an AC repair company in another market and have literally multi-million-dollar a year sales results for your company, because you're using the ironclad, perfectly optimized campaign that we use to generate XYZ results in one market that should basically tie right into your market to get similar results. Market to market, the results don't change that much, and you're getting tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of optimization time in that campaign. Many times we're optimizing their campaigns over several years, and you don't even have to change anything once you apply that campaign set that we've built for that client to your company. So essentially you could have a business out of the box. And a lot of people here, the reason why we started this program is people would be in one market, they're struggling. They would take a campaign that we have that's already working great, making millions of dollars for a client in another market, start up a business doing that, outsource all the work, take 5 to 10% of the revenue off top for themselves, and they had basically a passive income business. So if you're interested in that type of thing, reach out to us. We have also product campaigns that are not used anymore by clients that you could use to set up an e-commerce shop doing the same thing that are already proven. Stuff like printer toner that, you know, another person could set up a similar campaign in that space and do great numbers basically on it right away. So anyway, reach out to us if you're interested in finding out the results we have and in what markets we have results in, and we can give you an idea as to whether or not, or basically with the campaign that we can set you up with, what kind of results you could get using that campaign and in that market and starting a business up in that market. If you're lucky, we already have the results that you're looking for that are already, they're already said and done with and in your market already, where you could just copy and paste the campaigns that we have in your own account and get those same results for your own market and not have to go through all the hassle of optimizing your campaigns to get good results. We've done it all for you. So anyway, reach out to our firm if you want to know about that. I'll wrap it up with that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great PPC strategy for you to make some money with your PPC. See you then.